And the lover starts with the condition, had we but well enough in time. It means he is very hurry, or he is very quick to have sexual favors from the lady, because he has only intention to exploit the lady, and he takes the lady as an edible, as an eatable, as a product to be consumed, to eat up or to exploit. That's why he is in so hurry. That's why he says, this coyness, lady, were no crime. Your hesitation, your not being bold, not being so frank is not crime. We would sit down and think which way to walk and pass our long love's day. Now by the Indian Ganges side, yeah, he is having that greeds, temptations to a lady. He says he would love that lady from the as he will be waiting by the side of Humber, and he would be complaining uh, about her returning, and she would find the rubies by the Indian Ganges side, by the side of Indian Ganges. Next, he would complain. He would complain. He would complain about her request, or about her returning, or about her promises, as she is not going to fulfill. And he says, I would love you 10 years before the flood, and you should, if you please, refuse till the conversion of the Jews. This is the hyperbolic statement. This is the hyperbolic tone of the poet, or the poet lover. He is getting over romantic. He is claiming the things what are not possible to him. He is claiming the things what he cannot do practically, what the things are not practically possible. He is claiming those things, and it is his only intention. This very thing shows he is just tempting the lady to exploit her physical charms. My vegetable love should grow vaster than empires, and more slow, and 100 years should go to praise thine eyes. Yeah. This shows his intention, that he has intention to exploit her beauty, physical beauty, her physical charm, or her virginity. It is his only intention. And on thy forehead gaze 200 to adore each breast. How is this possible? To adore the physical beauty for 200 years? No one will do that. No one is going to do that. But he is having allures. He is having that temptations to this lady. Innocent lady. But 30,000 to the rest, and age at least to every part. Yeah, this is the hyperbolic tone of the poem. This is the hyperbolic tone of the speaker, and in this line he says in a hyperbolic way, and he is proved romantic. He is getting romantic. He is getting over romantic. It is, the things are getting over romantic, and the last age should show your heart. It means he will devote so much time to his beloved, to his lady, or to his mistress. For lady, you deserve this state. He is making her convinced that she deserves this state. But he is having excuse. And what is this excuse? This excuse is this: that they don't have enough time, and at my back I always hear time swing chariot hurrying near. It means death is coming. Death is coming so fast. Death will approach them so quickly. Their body, their physical beauty will decay. Their physical energy will be ended. No, then in the end, he says, thy beauty shall no more be found, nor in thy marble vault shall sound my echoing song. It means he is making her frightened. It means he is getting privileged over an innocent lady. He is taking advantage her not to be so frank, not to be so open, not to be so responsive, not to raise her voice, as she is unable to raise her voice. That's why he is taking advantage of it, and he is making so many allures, and he is making so many proposals, and proposal after proposal. He has only intention that he wants to exploit the beauty, the physical beauty of this lady. Yes, and he challenges that long preserved virginity and your quaint honor turn to dust. Your holiness, your virginity, your purity, your chastity will be ended. That will turn to dust and end into ashes all my lust. And he says the grave is a fine and private place. He makes her seen that death is certain. So why not to enjoy, why not to exploit our physical powers, our physical beauty? Still we have time to exploit our physical charms. That's why he is making her frightened. The grave is a fine and private place, but none, I think, do their embrace. So, in the next stanza, next lines, what is there? Now, therefore, while the youthful hue, still we have time, still we have youthful color or youthful energy, youthful vigor, youthful, still we are youthful. So, why not to enjoy? Why not to have that pleasure? And while thy willing soul transpires at every pore with stent fires, your body is filled with fires, your body is filled with energy, fresh energy. Now let us sport while we may. So let's take advantage of that. Let's take benefit of that, and we may do one thing. We may be the amorous birds of prey, and we will consume that energy, that physical energy, and we will consume that fully. That language in his slow chopped power, let us roll all our strength and all our sweetness up into one ball. It is not the ball of the spiritual world. This is the ball of their unity. This is not a spiritual unity. This is what he claims to be physically united. He says, through the iron gates of life, thus, though we cannot make our sun stand still, yet we'll make him run. Through our physical pleasures, we will make run the sun. We will exploit our physical beauty, physical energy so speedily that we will run more fast than the time. So students, I hope this video lecture, this recording, PPT recording is going to be beneficial, and the both classes, students of MA first year as well as the students of MA second year will be privileged, and they will have advantage that they will be apply this feminist approach on the other topics, on the other contents as are having feministic concerns. They will be able to find out the elements regarding about this feminist approach. Yes, students, so to promote this channel, subscribe Kapil's free English classes. Keep watching, stay at home, stay safe, and bye bye, take care.